This is Justin Scoop on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Taking a look at SPX. So we had a really small day. About a 30-point range on the day. Not as small as some of these other ones. Like this one was 25. This one was 40. This one was 20. This one, 32. This one's probably the most similar because it's right after a bull candle. It's right above the midline here. So yeah. And after this candle, we made another bull candle and then made a new all-time high. So maybe tomorrow we'll make another bull candle and then, I mean, we don't have much room before making another all-time high. So, um, yeah, even as today ended, it's like, okay, we're going to do a little bit of soft. Here's the rollover. And I think futures are up right now. So I don't know how much they're up, if they're up enough to make a new all-time high. There's very little room here. It's almost a given at this point that we're going to make a new all-time high, which means this is going to go up. This is not a false breakout. I don't know. We're still below this line. I mean, we haven't gotten a close above it, but a close above it at this point is pretty much a new all-time high. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised right now if it doesn't do that tomorrow or this week. I mean, it could pull back some. Today I was pretty much looking for nothing. Um, this is pretty much sponge something. This is pretty much how you can sum up today. Oh, come on, draw. Kind of like that. Let's see if we can get that a little straighter. That's pretty much today. You could yeah, that's pretty much today. I mean, you had some lows over here, looked like a double bottom. This, and then it went up, and then it did a retest of that neckline, and then continued on higher and then got some probably news thing and came all the way back down. And then, oh, look, a double bottom again, and then a retest, and then it didn't go higher. And it ran into the top here. And then we just kind of grinded lower until that came in at the end of the day. So, yeah, not, I mean, it just didn't really get going either way. It got going on this put, the 6740 put. It went from a low of zero point 0.1 up to a high of 8.1 in a matter of like 6 minutes, something like that, from up here to down here. That was pretty quick. Uh, let me show you this. I normally look at these things in a 3 minute. Um, but in this case, we're going to go over to the ticks again because I did the ticks thing a little bit ago. And so, okay, oops, didn't mean to do that. Right here, point one happened at, so you can see the timestamp at the bottom is, not the timestamp, but the time down here is 254 Central. So basically from 254 Central, then we've got 255, 256. We're just going sideways through here, but below is point one. Don't know if you would have been filled at that price. I was already in this from a little bit earlier. And so 258 rolls around, it's way down here, and then it starts to move up. It's like, oh, hey, now it's going to go. 259 hits, okay? So 259, and the low here is like point 0.3, and then it starts going up. And I had, well, I moved my target because I'm still in it at 259, and I had my target at 1.5, and it fills right here. It's like, yes, I'm out. Okay, good, because there's like less than a minute left. And you don't like you can watch on like a 15-second chart or a 5-second chart. You can watch on a much shorter chart. And this kind of gets fun sometimes. But you want to be out. You want to just be ready to be out. And you don't want any problems with your broker because if you're in this and you're in the money, which this ended up being in the money, but I was out at 1.5. My target had been 8. And to see where it ended up right at the last few split seconds of 259 Central, yeah, it got up into the $8 range. So it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm good that I'm out at 1.5, and that happened right around here. Um, let's see. Now this one, this 50 tick candle. I don't even know what to call these. This is a 50 tick candle. So I don't even know what that means. 50 ticks happened in this fraction of a minute. And I mean, this is the entirety of the 2:59 minute, basically. So I got filled here. No, I got filled here at 1.5. It continued to move on up. And it's like, you know what? I'm glad I'm out. And you really need to work on your holding muscle if you're going to be in something like this because you really don't want to be. Um, unless you have the account size that can handle something like this. But if like you realize what's going on, like you can be in the money on something that's a put, so you're basically getting short SPX. Things happen to your account, so make sure you understand that. But yeah, I was ready to exit at point 0.5, and then all of a sudden it started to move up. I'm like, well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait like a few split seconds, and kind of think like, okay, I'm ready to hit the button. I'm ready to be out at point 0.5. I have time to even drop it lower than that. It was an absolute zero trade, so it's like I'm okay risking what I've got on. Ended up making a little bit of a profit on it. Would have had much more of a profit had it actually gotten up to 8 while I was in it. But this was literally, I watched this happen. This was literally the last, like, I I don't even know how much time happened. This was immediately right before 3 o'clock Central. This was right before the market closed, where it got all the way up here. I mean, all of this was, fractions of a second or fractions in a minute, definitely, but I think fractions of a second in here where all of this volume came in and spiked this thing. And it doesn't even make sense that this is the price that it got onto. Because this so we're looking at the 67.40 put. Well, it's only $5 in the money. Why is it showing up with a price at 8? That just doesn't make sense. There's no time left. There's no more theta to decay. It's closed. It closed at like $8, right? The closing closed at 780, 7.8 right here. And it was only $4.65 in the money, right? Or no, this candle. This candle right here was $5.24 in the money from the 67.40 put. I don't understand how the option can be $7.80 when it's not even that far in the money. I don't get it. So So that happened today. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I was in this and I got out at 1.5, somewhere up in this portion of the candle. And yeah, so I still got out with a profit. I guess sometimes it's better to be lucky than good in this case because I was ready to get out. I was ready for just being out of the option for next to nothing, like absolute zero. Let me just exit it so that something like this doesn't happen. But this is why you want to exit your positions even if like just be ready with an exit order for 0.05. Just get out. If there's minutes left, just have that order sitting there in case something like this happens and it has this flash down thing. Um, but yeah, it's just really bizarre that that happened. But then if you look back at the day, it's like, oh, you know what? We had kind of a sell off there and a sell off there and a sell off there and a little bit of selling there. But then right at the close, we had a big sell. It's like, okay, there was a bunch of times today where we were up at a previous level. This was kind of a previous level to that. That one, not as much. This was a previous level to this. This was a previous level to this. So, in a sense, it was doing some of these like double top sort of shapes where we got back up to a level and then some selling happened. And so I think that's kind of what was going on, that there's people getting out. When it gets back up to that level, people are getting out. Maybe market makers getting out when it's getting back up to another level, which means that it's like, okay, it's giving you a second chance to get out at that price. Take it. And so people are selling or they're shorting at that level because, hey, we held here before. Let's sell it and we'll exit when it's lower. Sell high, buy low, buy high, buy low, sell high. Same thing. Just flip the order. So if people are selling at a price that it's been there before. So this time was here 1, 2, three times. This is the fourth time that it was right around this level. Sure enough, it sold harder this time, right? Only took two times here. Once here, twice here, once here, twice here. Not really sure what to do about that one. I think this was more of a retest. Actually, what I was seeing with this portion of it, I was thinking this bigger sell-off here, kind of retraced, kind of bounced around a little. I thought that was kind of looking like that. It's like, oh, are we gonna? Oh, yep, there we go. Okay, here's our fractal move. So this all of this we are on a 3 minute chart over the course of what is this? 2.5, around 2.5 hours, and we just kind of covered a portion of this in like a week and a half, something like that. Like, yep, that's definitely a fractal shape. That's kind of shaping up. You can kind of see a little bit of the same thing here: selling, recover, and then some chopping. So, like even here, it's like, is this just a shape that happens at different instances within the chart? Is this something that we're kind of doing this? This is how the chart's moving, maybe. But this is the fractal nature of anything, particularly the stock market. But we're kind of doing the same shape on the daily as did today on this 3 minute here, um, early afternoon. So, so I saw that. And it's like, okay, does that mean does that mean we're just going to chop around up here, and then eventually we're going to have a bigger thing like that? Way over here where this comes down further and pushes back down into this level. Is that it? I mean, we're not even going to get down to this bottom edge of the channel. I don't know. So, but yeah, just I was caught today looking at how things moved, as small as they did move. There were opportunities to go bullish. There were opportunities to go bearish. Um, you had I talked about before where we kind of had some repeat lows here, kind of had some repeat lows here, and you could just ride this up again back to that same level. Um, this put in a bigger low than this one. Let's see, this was right before noon. Actually, that was the first one, and then this one actually took it out. So all of this was actually lower, so it was pulling back further, even though on the SPX it was higher here. So the option got lower, which means there's less premium. It took more time, so you got more theta decay. Um, from here to here was much more theta decay at this point of the day. Crossed the noon. Well, this was right at noon, but kind of crossed over noon. 30 plus minutes later, yeah, a lot of that premium got sucked out. Probably once this happened, there was a lot of premium kind of baked in. There's a little more volatility, and then we recovered and we roll back down, and it's like, okay, now we're staying within this range, and then it starts to hammer. So it's like, yeah, there's going to be less premium. It makes sense with how it moves. So a couple things you can do: you can sell premium outside of that. You could potentially do that in day trade, do something further out here or further out here, iron condor or something like that. Please learn how that stuff works. Make sure you're selling at the right prices. Um, so I'm not giving you any recommendations in doing that. It's just pointing out like, hey, look, we're range bound. Um, it's a really small, we've got a really small area to work with here. We're underneath this line and we're above this midline. And that's really where we stayed. So somebody could have made some money were you selling outside of that range, and given that it held today, but it didn't have to, could have gone up more, could have gone down more. No. So squeeze is still on the daily. There are definitely some small opportunities bullish, small opportunities bearish. I mean, this was crazy that I was in part of this. I just love trading these options right into the close like this. So that was one that I wish I was in a little differently. Wish I'd gotten in a little lower. But I'm like, hey, look, we're coming into the dollar price. We're right up here. And then it just, I don't know, I was in for a dollar at 245. It was at 245, which was right here. No, this candle right here. It's like, okay, let me just get in for a dollar. And then it did that. It got down to like 0.1. So like, oh, that didn't work. And then looking to get out, it started to move. In the last 3 minutes, started to move and got out for 1.5. So nice little game there. Um, yeah, really curious to see how things are going to move tomorrow. If we're going to go up a little bit more and kind of rethink, reframe things. It could easily be a high, a hesitate. I want a little more hesitate. I want a little more sideways or pull back a little bit and then a push higher. And that'd be the trap if we do that high hesitate trap setup again. Guess we'll have to wait and see. All right. Hope this helps the Justin. Thanks.